This is what you really care about, right? You want to know how you're going to get paid, how you're going to make that money. The average mortgage agent salary, first, let's be very clear, a mortgage agent doesn't earn a salary. The bank will pay the broker a finder's fee or commission. You need to have a valid email address. I mean, if you can't pull off that last one, please don't become a mortgage agent. Then on that $500,000 example, you would get $4,250. There's a lot of good base assumptions you can draw from this, regardless of where you're looking at becoming a mortgage agent. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make $5,000 a month as a mortgage agent. Now, this entire video you're going to see, I'm going to be referencing some slides on my phone, and that's because this is actually based upon a 1-hour training I did in CashFlow Tribe. If you guys haven't checked out CashFlow Tribe, it's my education company where I teach real estate investors how to go to the next level. And so in that training, I really go in depth and deep into the subject matter of becoming a mortgage agent here in Ontario, Canada, and how to make $5,000 a month in your first year. But unfortunately, I can't just recreate that on my YouTube channel because you guys don't watch 1-hour videos. I mean, WTF is about that, but that's a whole other subject matter. We'll leave that for another day's discussion about your ADHD and your lack of attention span. But if you guys want to watch the full video, I'm going to throw a link to a free 14-day trial to CashFlow Tribe just down in the video description below. Jump over to it, grab your free 14 days, and you can watch the full 1-hour training. But let's jump into this summary. So first, let's talk about mortgage brokers, agents, and administrators. So a mortgage broker, they're the ones that actually own or operate the mortgage office. And so they're licensed here in Ontario by the FSCO. And so specifically, they're able to, I guess, taking a step back, if you don't even know what a mortgage broker or agent does, they don't actually lend you money, but what they do is they interact with a whole bunch of different lenders. So when you go to a bank, the bank is actually lending you money. However, a mortgage agent or broker, they're going to go talk to a whole bunch of different lenders, and ideally, if they're good at their job, they're going to find the best lender and terms for you in your personal specific situation and really set you up for success. Now, when we're talking about a mortgage agent is someone that works at a mortgage brokerage. And so they work for a mortgage broker. And they're going to work with them and, again, essentially do the same thing to help facilitate and find you the best options available for your project or your deal or your real estate transaction. And then finally, the administrator is the company that actually takes or is licensed to receive the mortgage payments and then pay it out to the individual lender. So again, we've got mortgage brokers, agents, and administrators. And those are usually the three key kind of terms that you need to be aware of if you're thinking about jumping into becoming a mortgage agent. Now, let's quickly talk about what the requirements are to become a mortgage agent here in Ontario, Canada. And again, if you guys want to dive deep into this, I spent a full 1 hour in the training. But high level, you need to be at least 18 years of age. You need to be a resident of Canada. You have a mailing address in Ontario that can receive registered mail. You need to be authorized by a mortgage brokerage to deal in mortgages. So again, if you're going to become a mortgage agent, you need a brokerage to hang your license at. You need to work for only one mortgage brokerage, so you can't work for a bunch of them. And you need to meet the mortgage agent requirement educations, and you need to have a valid email address. I mean, if you can't pull off that last one, please don't become a mortgage agent. But those are the requirements. And if you're interested, again, in the entire training, I dive deep into that subject matter. So we're not going to spend a lot of time. But let's move on to actually what's a mortgage agent going to kind of spend, or what are the costs in your first year? And again, this is going to be specific to Ontario, but I still think that there's a lot of good base assumptions you can draw from this regardless of where you're looking at becoming a mortgage agent. And don't worry, at the end of the video, we're going to dive into exactly how you get paid, how much money you can potentially make, and what you would need to do in order to make that $5,000 a month. But so after speaking to multiple mortgage agents, I kind of determined that here in Ontario, your average year is probably going to cost you between $2,000 and $5,000 in different costs. And this will, involve your cost of the courses, your desk fees, your insurance, and access to other maybe trainings or resources that your individual brokerage might have. Now, let's talk about what does a mortgage agent actually make? This is what you really care about, right? You want to know how you're going to get paid, how you're going to make that money. How do I make $5,000 a month? Well, the average mortgage agent salary, First, let's be very clear, a mortgage agent doesn't earn a salary. A typical Canadian mortgage agent is paid commission by the lender that he or she funds his or her borrower's mortgage through. So for example, if a borrower requires, say, a mortgage of $500,000 to buy a house in the Greater Toronto area, and the mortgage agent or mortgage broker can place the deal with TD Canada Trust, then the bank will pay the broker a finder's fee or commission. So the amount based upon this is going to be called BPS, or basis points. And so again, the beeps will vary depending upon the individual lender and even the mortgage agent and mortgage brokerage. But in general, we often see that say around 1% or 0.85% seems to be pretty common when talking about mortgage agents. So let's assume that TD is willing to pay 85 beeps or BPSs. Then on that $500,000 example, you would get 0.0085 of the total mortgage proceeds, or $4,250. So the next point you need to keep in mind that this amount is not paid directly to the mortgage agent, rather is paid to the brokerage. So the agent will have a contract with their brokerage that stipulates the percentage of commission that the agent will keep and the percentage of the commission that the brokerage will keep. So again, you may not keep the full 85 beeps when you're placing that mortgage. In fact, it'd be pretty uncommon to actually get to net that. So let's look at what does that actually look like in real life. So while there are many different models as a mortgage agent, in general, based upon my discussions with different mortgage agents, it sounds like the average is 85 beeps for the mortgage agent and 15 beeps for the brokerage. So again, of that $4,250 off of that $500,000 mortgage, the 85 beeps that TD's paying, and that seems to be a pretty standard amount based upon my conversations with other mortgage agents, and if they were trying to calculate what they would make in their first year, they told me to go with 85 beeps per average transaction. It's important we understand that 85 beeps doesn't all go to the agent. Now, each mortgage brokerage is going to have different structures in regards to what they pay out in the commission structure, but in general, all my buddies have told me it's about 85% goes to the agent and 15% will go to the brokerage. So in that example, we're taking $500,000 times the 85 beeps, which gets us $4,250. Then if we take 85% of that, because that's what we're entitled to as the agent, then we're going to be looking at $3,612.50 per $500,000 transaction. Taking this example a step further, if we want to figure out what someone would make in a typical year, we'd have to figure out how many deals they plan to do.
Do you want to get control of your financial life? Do you want to crush it in real estate with wholesaling? Do you want to join my full-time team of wholesalers like Mike or Shahir? Or what about Tyler? Or Diego? Or what about Amar? Alright, and what do we do, boys?
We make offers, we buy fast, never gonna miss a deal cause we pay cash. Offers, 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 deals, deals, deals. Tell us, Mr. Seller, what price do you feel? Cause we're Southwestern's biggest source of deals. Boom!
So if you guys want to crush it with wholesaling, you need to join my team. And down below, video description, there's all the links you need.
Taking this example a step further, if we want to figure out what someone would make in a typical year, we'd have to figure out how many deals they plan to do. So let's say you were funding 3 deals a month around $500,000 at an 85 beeps and taking home 85% of that commission. And now obviously this ignores things like income taxes and your input costs to become a mortgage agent. Let's just leave that at the door now and keep this as a high level example. But in that scenario, over the course of 12 months, you'd be looking at making $130,000 a year as a mortgage agent. So again, that's going to be doing 36 transactions at approximately $500,000 per transaction funded. That's some pretty good money. Am I right, guys? Now let's take a step further and actually reverse engineer what we would need to do in order to make that $60,000 a year, or at least make $5,000 a month as a mortgage agent. So what we're going to do is make a few assumptions. We're going to assume that the average commission is 85 beeps. We're also going to assume that 15% of that commission goes to the broker, so we're going to keep 85%. So all we need to do now is take that $60,000 that we want to make, divide it by the 85 beeps. So we're going to divide it by 0.0085, and then we're going to divide it by 85%, which is the percentage of the commission we get to keep. So in that scenario, that means that we, as the mortgage agent, need to fund approximately $8,300,000 in total gross mortgage funds. Then what we need to do is take the average transaction size for your market. And so this is going to vary depending upon the market you're in. In London, Ontario, your average transaction size might be $300,000, where in downtown Toronto, it might be $800,000. So again, you're going to have to get dialed in about what the average property price is in your market, or what the average property price is in the niche that you're going to focus on as a mortgage agent. But again, let's make the same assumptions and keep walking through this example. So let's take the average sales transaction in your market. And so the average sales price here in London, Ontario, as of February 2020, was $447,860. Now, if we assumed that that was the average mortgage amount, we would simply take 8.3 million, divide by 447,860, and that would equal 18.5 transactions, or a deal every 2.8 weeks. So essentially what we're saying here is if you did an average deal every 3 weeks here in London, Ontario, you'd be on pace to make that $60,000. Now, the one caveat people may come up with, and again, this was just meant as a high level breakdown, is the difference between the purchase price of a property and the actual loan to value you're going to fund. So if you really wanted to be even more accurate, you'd probably have to increase the estimate I just gave you by about 25%. So in that case, you're maybe going to have to do a deal every 2 weeks instead of every 3 weeks. But overall, this is how you're going to go about making $5,000 a month as a mortgage agent. Doesn't sound that difficult, right? And if you really put in the work, I think anyone can consistently do this if they're focused on building their network, building their knowledge, and really just putting in the work necessary to make the connections and start funding deals. Again, could you fund 2 deals a month in London, Ontario? That's pretty much the question you're asking if you want to make $60,000 a year as a mortgage agent based upon the assumptions we made. Did you guys enjoy this video? Did you like this video? Did you get value from this video? Jump in that comment section and let me know. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and would you like to see this become a reoccurring series where maybe I break down different real estate jobs or professions and how you can easily make $5,000 a month by going full in to that position or that niche industry? Let me know in the comment section down below. We can also look at doing things like realtors, wholesalers, even bird dogs, or any other position that you could look at as a full-time real estate job. Let me know, because I'm more than happy to break these down for you, and we could also even do it for different real estate investment strategies like flipping. Let me know in the comment section, but otherwise smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video.